right, welcome in to Toledo's most local 9 a.m. show. Good day.
Yeah, so the Toledo area is full of organizations that care for and want the best for animals.
Of course, so Max Majan from Toledo's Pet Bull Project brought a friend today. Who is this with us, Max?
This is Gemma.
Gemma.
Yeah, she is about 6 months old.
Gemma, look.
We have gotten her we pulled her from LC4, so we think her birthday is around sometime in June. Gemma is a total love bug. She loves people. Her foster mom reports that she is one of the most intense cuddlers that she's ever fostered, so she always just wants to be on her lap and pressed up right next to her. Gemma lives in a home with other dogs, with cats. She loves people, so we think she would do very well pretty much anywhere that, we put her. But she is a puppy, so, somebody needs to commit to, doing training with her and making sure that they work on things like potty training and all that other stuff.
Yeah, it's a lot of care that's needed for a puppy, right, Max?
It's a lot more care for a puppy than an adult dog.
Yeah. So tell us, what are you guys doing at the Pet Bull Project?
So I guess we were going to talk to you guys today about just caring for animals in some cold weather with the colder weather coming up.
Yeah.
It's perfect setting today with all the snow coming down. So a lot of people actually have some pets that live outside at this time of year. So some tips for them, using some bedding like straw that wicks water. We really recommend, if you can, especially as it gets into the lower temperatures in the 30s, like bring the pets inside, in the garage, into the house. But it's one thing if they're out and exercising, so it's not that big of a deal for a dog to be out in the 30s or even the high 20s. But as those temperatures dip, they just can't regulate their body temperature, and they can get things like frostbite. Some things that you don't even think about is the water starts to freeze, so they might not have access to water. So having some sort of heated dish if your dog is outside, or replacing that water frequently. And then for pet owners, thinking about things like their paw pads. So making sure that if you can put something on their paw pads, like a wax formula, Musher's Secret, teaching your dog to wear booties. So the cold is the first thing we think about with protecting our dog's paw pads, but some people use like chemical de-icers, and that can actually burn our dog's pads. Ooh. So thinking about just protecting your pets as the temperature gets colder. Yeah.
I feel like this is an obvious question, but when you mentioned, hey, putting them inside the garage, what's also very toxic is like windshield cleaning fluid, right?
Yep. So de-icers, that can be toxic to the dog's windshield fluid, things like that that we start to use more at this time of year. If the pets eat that, it is poisonous for them.
What about things like salt, right? Because people will be putting salt down on the concrete. Is that something to be really cautious about as well with dogs?
Definitely. If you can use a pet-friendly salt that doesn't have those chemicals in it that could burn their paw pads, that's the best option. But as a pet owner, you really just kind of have to be responsible for your own pet and assume that maybe people aren't using those things. So that's why we recommend using some sort of paw protection.
Makes sense.
Little booties for them, or putting something on the paws to kind of create a layer between those chemicals.
Would it count just as well? So let's say that, he's freaking out, it's not a big deal. What if immediately after I come home, I bring Gemma in and then I just wipe off her pads? Is that
it's better than leaving those chemicals on the paw pads, but there is a chance that there is still some sort of injury that happens from those de-icers, or just really over time, even if it's not de-icer, the salt will dry out their paw pads, and then that leaves cracks. They can start to bleed from their paw pads. So the nice thing about a lot of those protections that you put on, they also help moisturize their paw pads, and they keep them soft, they keep them healthy. So there's a lot of added benefits for using those.
Yeah, so Max, you said it's okay to take the dogs out to exercise, for walks, but is there a time limit when those temperatures dip below 30?
So yeah, and you have to think about kind of the dog's coat as well. So a dog like Gemma doesn't have an undercoat. So this is just the fur that she has. So it'd be kind of the equivalent of us wearing like a sweater outside. So you have to think about, how would you feel outside if it was 20 degrees and you just had a sweatshirt on? You would probably start to get cold pretty quick. It'd be one thing if you're doing like a fast walk or exercising, but if you start to stay stationary for any period of time, if you're just kind of hanging out outside, a dog like Gemma will get cold pretty quickly. So maybe in a couple of minutes. And certain parts of her body, like her ears, her face, could start to get frostbite very fast. So you really want to protect their sensitive areas just put a jacket on a dog like Gemma, you know, a Husky, St. Bernard, they're going to like the outside, and they're going to want to hang out there. When I was a kid, we had 2 St. Bernards, and it was hard to get them to go in the house. But a dog like Gemma, we'll need to think more about protecting her in this type of weather. So really, in the low 30s to the high 20s, you're going to start to have to protect a dog like her. And really, for any dog, there's going to be a point where they can't be outside anymore. So even if they have an undercoat, even if they're designed to kind of be out in the cold temperatures, come here, Gemma. Gemma's running away. Come here, Gemma. Come back this way. She's exploring.
So good common sense needs to be used.
Yes.
So for those folks who want to adopt, how can they do so?
So we have an application on our website. So the way that it works is if you're interested in any of our dogs, you can go onto our website, which is Toledo'sPetBullProject.com. And we have all the dogs up for adoption listed there, and with little descriptions of them. And then you can, if you're interested in a dog, you can either come out to one of our adoption events where we'll have a whole slate of dogs there, or you can reach out and set up a meeting to just kind of meet the dog one-on-one and see if it's the right dog for you. So we really want to make sure that we're matching up dogs for the right personality style, the right lifestyle. So if you were looking for like a couch potato, Gemma might not be the dog for you.
Exactly.
She's got some energy. She's a young dog. So we want to make sure that we're matching up dogs to the right homes. You would fill out that application. You would do a meeting. If you have other dogs, we come out to the house and we do some introductions. We make sure that everybody gets along. And at that point, if everything goes well, then we set up an adoption date and you would take the puppy home or the dog home.
Awesome. Sounds good. Well, Max, thanks so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you guys for having us.
Ladies, thank you. Yes, yes. And then I have no doubt you will be adopted.
I know, she's so cute.
By Christmas. Okay, get down.
Thanks, guys. Well, there is much more Good Day to come.